I've already created a video regarding crimes committed by the police department of Smederevo city in Serbia and Novi Sad city in Serbia. I lived in Novi Sad until beginning of October 2021. And Smederevo is the city where my father, pictured here, lived. I mean area where my father lived. So Smederevo is in the area where my father lived, sort of the center of that area. And this is the picture of him taken around March 1991. At least this, I'm not sure about that. This is information I got from my brother. So he is in police uniform. This is the month when first protests against Slobodan Milosevic took place. So he was police in reserve, and I'm creating this video. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention the crimes committed by police also includes crimes committed by not just these two police departments, but also the internal affairs of the police, so-called sector of internal affairs, especially their headquarters in Belgrade. So I explained a lot of this, although there are a lot of cases, a lot of crimes committed by these monsters that I will probably, most likely, create more videos on that, but for now I'm focusing on my father being police in reserve. So he also was in Kosovo and Metohija, so not Kosovo, but Kosovo and Metohija, this is the real name, in 1981, when Shqiptars in Sestoic first had their riots against Serbia, and that was civil war. So he was in civil war, and he is, because of that, veteran, police veteran, although in reserve, but it doesn't change anything. So they haven't protected him when Dr. Stanisavljevic, I don't know if he's still in that hospital. So this is hospital in Smederevo. So while this doctor was killing my father, they did nothing. You will see now a description of what happened in one of the emails, one of the first emails I sent to police. I sent to Internal Affairs of the Police of Serbia, Police Department of Serbia. So I don't see his name. He's it looks that he's not at that hospital anymore. So this is the unit of that hospital where my father died. The doctor Yeah, he's here. Why I haven't seen this in the... Yeah, for some reason I haven't seen this, but he's still the chief doctor there. So that's him. So there were a lot of strange things happening around the event of my father's death. I will show now my report to Internal Affairs of the police in Belgrade headquarters, and there is also there's also email I sent to the director of this hospital. I have a video about that guy, but I will create a separate video on that. So part of the crimes that hospital committed, doctors from that hospital committed, are described in this video on my channel. This is my YouTube channel, so I'm not going to explain that here. I'm focusing on, as I said, crimes committed by 2 police departments and internal affairs regarding my father. And if I go to my email account, Gmail account, and I search for first emails I received from Police Department of Novi Sad. NS means is short for Novi Sad, city in Serbia. I have only one, and it says, so this is only one page. So it says here, Police Department Novi Sad. This is the date. So they answered like 3 months after I reported this. I reported this in it was the end of 2019. 2018. So they needed 3 months to answer, and this is the whole thing. The whole explanation was very very strange. So they say here it's my submission. It's not a submission, it's a crime report about their colleagues. So I first called Novi Sad while my father was being murdered, Police Department of Novi Sad. Then they instructed me to call Police Department in Smederevo. Both of them did nothing. So no names here, just titles. And they said they said everything was okay, they did nothing wrong, but no names here, nothing. They lie, I didn't say who I am. They also lie about other things. And again, they say it's complaint instead of crime report. So they were just using some general response, general patterns in their response, general templates, not naming any name, not giving the full report. And also what is very strange is that there is no signature here. There must be a signature. This is mandatory according to the law, and that would be it from them. So only one mail I received from them. Of course, this is just forwarded to my brothers. So I asked them multiple things: why there is no signature and the seal of the institution, other things, who are the people mentioned in that report they sent, or basically notification, it's not a report. I also mentioned that their colleague told me bro, which is when I stop talking to, when I hung up, sorry. I didn't want to talk to her anymore, and so on and so on. I explained some legal stuff, asking for more details. And I also asked about their I need to check out this was the proper term. So well, it's not really an invitation. They called me to officially to give statement regarding weapon that my father inherited from his father, and monster who murdered 3 members of my family reported that this is a legal weapon. They knew very well that my father was police in reserve, and I asked them. So police department from Smederevo sent this to this request to police department of Novi Sad, and they kept this for I don't know, like 3 or more days, and they waited. They gave me this. It was like 6 p.m. and they wanted me to be there next day. This is the time when this was right after I received, I got the last shot under my eye for severe inflammation of iris. I notified them that I will go to my home in country to pick up the gun and give them, police department. This is according to the law, and they didn't. They omitted here what is the crime in question. So they called me not as a suspect but as a citizen to just give the statement. The problem is that you can, during questioning, become a suspect. So this is now very popular regarding Elon Musk and Larry Page and their inability of Virgin Islands prosecution office to locate these two so-called tech giants. But again, go back to the subject. So they, the guy from police department of Smederevo who sent them this, he said that he sent this on time. So they waited on purpose. I didn't sleep the whole night to avoid, and this was in 10 a.m. I need to be there next day at 10 a.m. So I didn't sleep the whole night, and the whole point was that I needed to rest after this shot. This is extremely strong medicine, and this just shows what kind of monsters these psychopaths. These are psychopaths. These psychopaths are. So what I want to show here is so I reminded them that they must not delete the recording of my phone call when my father was being murdered by that piece of shit doctor. I don't know what happened if they deleted this. One more time, as can be seen, not a single name is mentioned here, which is illegal. They need to invoke the law that enables them to omit names. So that was regarding police department of Novi Sad. This is now okay. This is now police department of of Smederevo. SD is short for Smederevo. So this is the these are the responses I got from them. And so on and so on. So they haven't addressed this. At least I'm not able to find this my crime report regarding their colleagues that ignored me while my father was being murdered. The first date they answer is 21st of February. Sorry, not. It's not there. So this is their first response, 22nd of February. Their port parole, I don't know, was the spokesperson of that police department. He just confirmed some general info, and this was the first response from them. So again, they treat my crime reports as submissions. Crime report is a special case of submission. I explained in other videos why is this important. So they just say these are submissions and nothing about the dates when I filed them, how I filed them, and so on and so on. Nothing about that. So they just mentioned murder of my grandfather. This is his name, Živorad. And that the prosecution, acting prosecutor said there's nothing suspicion. It's not suspicious murder. It's not a suspicious case. It turned out, so this is the date, turned out I found out in July 2021 that higher instance prosecution, so prosecution where this acting prosecutor works in Smederevo, so they leaked some info, and it turned out in 2017, August of 2017, since then no lawyer wanted to defend monster who murdered my family. So I was right about that, and this shows that they pretend they don't know that if prosecutors breaks the law, they need to report that prosecutor. And I will show a perfect example of that, what they should have done, by playing the clip from this documentary, so ABC documentary on Jeffrey Epstein. So not Epstein, but Epstein. Let's see if there is something else. Yeah, and they pretend they don't have anything to do with other crime reports I filed, and they were basically doing the same thing over and over, which can be seen in other emails I received from them. So just pretending they don't know how the law works. And this happened until I reported their top of the Ministry of Interior to Interpol using Twitter. I explained everything in other videos, so I'm not going into details. There is a special video just on that report, so I'm not going into details. So 24 hours after I reported that to Interpol, especially addressing Jürgen Stock, who was secretary at that time of Interpol. I think he still is. Well, he actually has a Twitter account. Wow. Secretary General. Is that it? Yeah, Secretary General, that's the guy. Well, actually, he had some interview, Republic World, never heard of them. So this is the guy. I will just mute this. That's him. Jorgen. So I addressed him in that report using Twitter, which is strictly prohibited. You cannot, you must not report anything using social networks. So police reacted within 24 hours, totally changing the story. They forwarded my crime report to prosecution, meaning that they are behind my claims. 3 members of my family were murdered. So the time when this is sent, 3:20, so 20 minutes after their end of their working time, official working time, means that somebody was pressuring them not to do this, but they did it in the end, and this is still in the drawer. So their crime report, not submission as stated here, and this is done by Commissioner Police Department of Smederevo, which is very strange because this is not his job. So he just informed me they forwarded my crime report, which they call, let me see, which they call submission, my crime report from 22nd of June 2019. So again, this is still in the drawer of acting prosecutor. I'm not going into details on this because again I created a separate video on this, on that crime report. And the last thing I'm going to do is to search for crime reports, 2 emails, search for emails from I'm losing my focus because I slept like for 3 hours and I'm working for more than 12 hours without almost no break. So these are 26 of 26 emails. This is the first email. One day after my father died, actually was murdered, so 29th of December 2018, and I described here, these are questions regarding police not acting on my crime report by phone while my father was being murdered by that piece of shit Dr. Stanisavljevic. And these are some questions regarding my grandfather murder, so monstrous murder. This is especially interesting regarding the current case. Which is now Center for Social Work, because monster who murdered my family is in psych hospital, and they want to put her in to sort of protect her in a nursing home. But this is very important, so I need to record this so that I don't forget about it. So this part in black is about my request to determine how much money monster who murdered my family stole from my household. It was around 30,000 euros, so not dinars but euros. So Psycho stole money. Internal affairs, okay. So a lot of questions. Regarding that monster who murdered my family. I called her here stepmother. This is wrong, because at that time I actually already knew she forced my father to marry her, which is illegal. That's a blackmail. I also reported that as well, so I should not I should have not called her here stepmother. This is wrong. My phone number and so on and so on. So they simply ignored everything, all these facts. Said they forwarded everything without any proofs to prosecution office and so on and so on. Basically did nothing. I then asked them to confirm they received it. Here, 15th of January. So this is when I sent it, and they first confirmed they received my email when I threatened I will contact, I threatened here, I will contact newspapers. I did that, but in July, I think, I also contacted, because Interpol is involved, I also contacted, I think, Sun and New York Times. I will check out now when that happened. So in the meantime, they were they were intimidated, threatened, and probably even bribed. So none of the Serbian newspapers wanted to publish anything. So the same story. I'm not going now into details. It's the same story as with any other state institution. They are simply ignoring me, and when they answer, so here is their first answer. They just pretend they don't know how the law works. So they simply forwarded everything to their colleagues in Smederevo police department. So this is headquarters of Police Internal Affairs in Belgrade. So police department of Belgrade. and this is very interesting. They said they forwarded also everything I sent them to elementary prosecution office, because elementary prosecution office is not in charge of murders. These are the part of the laws they invoked. I know about this. So 281 paragraph 3. Okay, let's see first 43. Paragraph 2. Yeah, so they just invoked this part, which is about the fact that prosecutor is in charge of investigation, but my point was that since prosecutor was ignoring me, they should have reported prosecutor, and this is again something that I will show how should have been done, how it should have been done using this documentary. So it's ABC. Again, they pretend they don't know how law works. So they were invoking law and criminal proceedings. This is the basis of police prosecution and therefore court work. Yes, they said here, if somebody files crime report to the police, this is their part. Prosecution which is not in charge, or the court, this is very important, they will receive that, meaning that they will put it in their archive. Is this the proper pronunciation? I'm not using it really. Archive, okay.
Archive.
Yeah, so I use the proper term. So they invoke this part of the law, this paragraph. But of course, no, not a single proof they did that, what they sent, and so on and so on. And to this very day, they still haven't sent me any of the documentation, cases related to me by any means. Doesn't matter if I file a report or if somebody file a report against me. So this is the day and time. So I still haven't, which is of course against the law, I still haven't received any. It is a private case, monstrous murders of my family. No private, no state Serbian institutions or private companies and so on haven't sent me a single case, single document with the real info. They are just sending me some notifications. So this just confirms, and I created a video about that, when what happens when somebody ignores you. This just confirms they admit they admit they're guilty. Not basically, but they admit they're guilty. So this is the video about that, what happens, why you should not ignore anyone in certain cases, legal cases. So I'm not really going into details about this because it's the same pattern they're using. Yeah, so they say if prosecutor commits a crime, they don't have anything to do that. Indirectly, this is what they claim. It's not their job, which is wrong. And I'm now going to play this part of last part of this documentary, so ABC documentary. This doesn't mean I support ABC, because in this documentary there is no Virginia Roberts Giuffre, not Giuffre but Giuffre, as in Buongiorno. G as in Buongiorno. G is a natural speaking sound. It is combined by using D and Y. So if you start and you're increasing the speed of saying that, you will eventually end up with J. So one more time, this is natural speaking sound, as well as Ch, J, although there is J in Asia, and so on and so on. L. So I'm not going into details about pronunciation and natural speaking sounds just mentioned. So I'm not, by playing this, I'm not supporting ABC, because they haven't featured one of the most prominent, most popular quoted Jeffrey Epstein victims, Virginia Roberts Giuffre, because of that Amy Robach interview that ABC refused to air. This was a major deal. So Amy Robach, just to remind people, Amy it's Veritas, right? So this is the thing. I think that she is now in a relationship with some athlete. So TJ Holmstrom-Mans, well, there are a lot of things here. I don't know who this guy is, but I think he's an athlete, so this is what I understood. So TJ Holmes, right? TJ Holmes. No, it's a journalist. Okay, sorry, I misunderstood. So this is about that journalist, Amy Robach, who interviewed Virginia Roberts Giuffre in that was according to her, 3 years ago. He said that. Oops, no. He said that no. Okay, so this is where the video should start, the part of interest, at least for me. So she said that Amy Robach, whatever, stated, I think it's Robach, stated that so-called leaked hot mic that she had the story 3 years ago, I think, so sometime around 2015 or 2016. So this is when she interviewed Virginia Roberts Giuffre. They haven't, probably she didn't want to participate in this documentary. Of course, she's the most popular. Virginia is the most popular victim of Jeffrey Epstein, but she's not the most important and the most credible. So the most important and the most credible is Maria Farmer, who reported everything to FBI. They ignored her. She's suing them now. It's a collective lawsuit, or what's the other name? Class lawsuit. She's suing her in the name of on behalf of other victims of Jeffrey Epstein. She's suing a FBI for $600,000. So Maria Farmer, they said thousand, it's millions. Okay, so that was wrong, 600 millions. So FBI lawsuit, $600 million dollars lawsuit. So this is Daily Beast, whatever this is spelled, Yahoo, and so on and so on. Washington Examiner, Newsbreak, Fox News, Gazette, New York Times. No, this is not that. This is something earlier. So basically, not that much mainstream media. There's not that much mainstream media that picked that up. As you can see. So only, let's see. Fox News, so it was end of July 2023. I don't know about this news break. I don't think it's mainstream. This is mainstream. Washington Examiner, Yahoo. I don't know what this is, never heard of them. And Daily Beast. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. Only 4 mainstream media picked this. Of course, there is a chance that Google is banning other articles, but only 4 mainstream media picked that up. that story. It tells a lot. So this is a major deal. If FBI acted in 1996, nothing would have happened. So I'm now going to play this this part to show that how police should act in cases when prosecution or prosecutor breaks the law. Let's just see. Okay, and I will need to switch to desktop sound.
Police Chief Reiter says at this point he notices a significant change, and he and his detectives are getting radio silence from the state's attorney's office.
I asked the state attorney, Barry Krischer, to stop in my office. He told me all this case was a misdemeanor. He suggested we write Epstein a notice to appear. It's basically similar format as a traffic ticket. I was basically pleading with him, please reconsider. And he just basically got up and walked out of my office. That's when I sent the state attorney a letter asking him to remove himself from the case.
It's very rare in Palm Beach County for somebody to go after the state attorney, but Reiter did.
Chief Reiter says he never heard back about his letter, and Barry Krischer stayed on the case, and then nothing much happened for another 2.5 months.
When I opened the newspaper, I was stunned.
Epstein had been charged with a single count of solicitation of prostitution.
And in the charge, nothing about minors.
The Palm Beach Police Department had put together a case for dozens of lewd and lascivious molestation against minor charges against Jeffrey Epstein.
Barry Krischer could have thrown a book at Epstein, and he refused to do it.
The former state attorney, Barry Krischer, has not responded to ABC News' efforts to talk to him.
Krischer recently defended his actions in a public statement, saying that he presented evidence and witnesses to a grand jury, which returned a single-count indictment of felony solicitation of prostitution.
So I just want to ask at this point if there is any sort of document about that decision of grand jury that was just mentioned, and who were the members of that grand jury. And by the way, this is chief of the police department of Miami, I think, Michael Reiter. Okay, so Michael Reiter. So, real police officer. The one who, he's probably, I mean not probably, he's the main reason the whole thing started. Otherwise it would be put under the rug, although it was put under the rug by using that non-prosecution agreement, but it caught the attention of the public, so he is the main reason why the whole thing of exposing what happened started. So real police officer, he is an example, prime example how police officer should act. So let's continue this.
Calling these girls prostitutes is a very offensive thing.
We weren't prostitutes. We weren't whores. We were children.
I needed to let them know it doesn't end with this.
He did the only thing he could do, which is take it to the FBI.
The FBI begins a nationwide investigation.
He's got homes in New York, Virgin Islands, New Mexico, and that becomes particularly perilous for Epstein.
Another thing to notice here is that I don't know if they had that information at the time when this is recorded. So this is beginning of January 2020. So I don't know if they had that information, but Maria Farmer reported everything, as I just said, in 1996, but they haven't mentioned that here. And I think they had the information because Maria Farmer, or maybe not. Okay, I just needed to mention this, and I really don't remember when Maria first stepped up, and I think she said in one of her interviews, she stepped up, she gave her first statement, public statement, when David Boyce instructed her to do so. So let's continue with the video.
He may have underestimated the determination of many of the victims.
Mr. Epstein, how long have you been sexually attracted to underage minor females? Are you kidding?
So that was the end of the documentary. So all 5 parts are on YouTube. So this is the 4th, 3rd, 2nd, and the first part. So everyone can watch it. There are several other documentaries of Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell still on YouTube, so they can be watched. I don't know if somebody is going to remove them, because some of them, as the one by I think Sky News, contains some very compromising information for FBI and for prosecution offices and courts involved in Ghislaine Maxwell trials. So it is possible that they remove this, but this is it will be topic of subject of another video. But for now, this video was about my father. One more time, that's him in the police uniform, and I hope that the police officers who covered up this will watch this video and just remember this face. You piece of shit morons and psychos. That was your colleague, and you're still covering up his murder. Okay, and you also intimidated his son, who has 2 types of cancer, and not just intimidating, but it was also harassment. Real psychos, morons, pieces of shit, and okay, I said psychos, so I think that would be enough. And I will finish the video with this picture.